This is Jack Gottlieb with the L&D Transformation Podcast, where learning and development leaders share their advice. It is 5 questions in 9 minutes because talent development needs to create value and generate results quickly. So let's get to it. Question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Oksana Esberard, and I'm a mental wellness expert, international speaker, mindfulness and meditation coach, and best-selling author. I'm also a founder of Sattva Me, which is a global learning training organization where we focus on productivity, stress, emotional intelligence for employees, busy professionals, leaders like yourself, and entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. Based upon that, question number 2, what is the best thing, Oksana, about being in learning and development right now when we talk about mindfulness, wellness, really the overall core health of an individual? What's most exciting right now about that?
In my view, it's the openness that people got to those tools. Even 4 years ago, when I started my career in this field, I would come into the companies and I'll tell, well, I teach mindfulness. And they're like, mind what? But now it's the word that everybody knows and people are seeking for it. Wellness and well-being is never been more important, and people kind of understand because there's a lot of scientific evidence and research and medical research that popped up in the last about 10 years that people got access to. And it stopped from being woohoo to, oh, there is a real evidence-based purpose to it. So people became more open.
I love that quick kind of clarifier there. So that makes a lot of sense. Totally. Executives that we work with and companies that we work with continue to agree. And right off to your point, there will continue to be dramatic shifts in the expectations for what learning and development either as a function, either within leaders and within just individuals, period. Things are going to continue to shift. What are your thoughts to that?
I think things are always shifting. There's nothing static, but in the learning and development field, especially, I see a huge trajectory from investment into the hard skills of certain profession and what can you do as that profession to actually investing into soft skills where we talk about mental and emotional agility and flexibility. Mindfulness, how you can keep and how long you can keep attention on things, focus, agility, resiliency, stress management, well-being in the scope of the whole individual, because we feel to pretend like things are okay at work, well, they're collapsing at home, and that's no longer possible because now most of us are working from home, and that those worlds collided. So people realize that I can no longer sweep into the rug those husband-wife issues. It is impacting my productivity. Yes. And so as company, as leaders, what I see more is that investment into people's attention and well-being on themselves, because that's what drives productivity. How they say you cannot pour from an empty cup. Well, here's the same thing. You have to have your cup consistently full if you want to stay relevant, productive, and move and shift with the times, because the times are definitely changing.
Totally agree. I think the mindfulness piece is one of those components that you alluded to, that people are more, oh yeah, that's nice, to, well, wait a sec, I really need it, right? And to the degree of those blind spots, people not catching and connecting to things that they often thought are, yeah, I'll be good. But now it's like, no, wait a second, I really need that. I've been missing that. I've not even been aware of it because I just assumed it to be something I'll get to when I have time. And now you have to find the time. You need to make the time. So your insights and leadership here is fantastic. Leading to the next question, question number 4. What piece of advice do you want to share with other talent development leaders, and frankly, just leaders in general, who are responsible for not just the performance of people, but the true filling that cup so to get the most out of them, but also the most for them? What advice would you give them?
I would say the number one that I stand by and will stand by for a very long time from now is invest into and master your attention, and also help others to do the same. Train them and train yourself into mastering your attention. Why I say that is because attention is the currency of today's age and time. It's not the time, actually. It's not the money. It's not the skill set. It's how you spend, where you are focused day to day, every second of your life. And you will be surprised how sporadic and constantly dispersed our attention is. I am in constant training myself, and kind of the challenge and the beauty about attention training is that it's not one and done. It's a constant reinforcement. It's a daily practice because we get pulled by our cell phones, by our relatives, by kids, by never-ending to-do lists. We are bombarded of the things. So if to think about it, in the past, our work environment was driven by outside in. Here's the task, here's the project, here's what you need to do. And we would kind of take it, and then we'll do our best to produce something and to meet those expectations, KPIs, and other things that as leaders or employees we need to do. The shift of today's age is actually outside in. We need to make sure that we are centered, balanced, emotionally well, physically well, mentally stable, that we are mastering the skill in an art into where we're working, but we are agile, because nowadays it's no longer, here's your clear-cut project. Life is throwing things at us at a lightning speed and we don't even know which direction. So you need to be infinitely adaptable and flexible, and you need to be able to shift your attention and stay laser focused, but then be able to shift it again and stay laser focused. What it will produce? Higher levels of innovation, creativity, flexibility, and flow with ever-changing times. And the speed of change has expedited, and everybody feels it. And those that are not training their attention, they're going crazy. They're like off the rails of the charts.
That is so true.
Others are pretty good.
No, I totally agree with you. I think attention is the new currency by which to be mindful about how I plan for, allocate for, and frankly, just leverage my time and frankly, others people's time. Such a constant demand, and to really own that, as you alluded to, as a real key focused asset, just like one would the harder technical skills based upon that level of work. That really balances out that level of capability and value where you're able to create renewal and progression, not just for yourself, but frankly, for what's needed to balance those changes. That was fantastic. Last question, question number 5. Final and using thought here. Who inspires you the most in connection to this kind of purpose and work that you do?
The answer would be very surprising, but it's very true and very real for me. It's actually my dog Lola, who is a Fox Palestinian, and she shows me the level of attention and love and that unconditional support, she's mostly with me, that makes a superior being. I call her my boss. Because if you think about it, there's this tiny 10-pound creature that adopted this gigantic human beings, and I tend to think about myself as pretty smart, and I'm hardworking, and I'm pretty well put. And this dog makes me work for her. I take care of her, I bathe her, I buy her the best food possible in the market. And all of that is because she can give me undivided attention, and she gives love, unconditional support. So going full circle, how I see human interaction evolving, if you invest into attention training, which is mindfulness training, which is mental wellness training that we do, is literally you will have people coming and helping you. They will help you succeed. They will help you to get to where you are. And as I am mastering and learning from Lola as my influence, I see these things are real. So high inspiration and love.
I love the full circle. It was such a pleasure having you on. This is such a key area that we're not putting, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, enough attention to, right? This is Jack Gottlieb with the L&D Transformation Podcast. For more insights and ideas, go to our LinkedIn page, the L&D Transformation Podcast.